So these are the ways you have to work. You have to act as a guide. You have to pass on these information to the system so that they can make better predictions for you. Okay. Now, how can you pass the information from your system to the platform? Very simple. The answer is Pixel, SDK, and offline conversions. Now, that's not the topic today, but just wanted to help you guys with this. Okay. Now, with these different data sources, such as so Pixel is basically helps you to track your website action. SDK helps you to track your your app actions, and if you want to understand how people are, whether your offline conversions are being motivated or influenced from your Facebook campaigns, you have to undergo with the offline actions. So these are the different data sources for different properties, and these properties can help these properties which you are trying to uh, you know bring your customers on. You can basically pass on these data back to the system so that it can help you to reach more such audiences. Okay. Now, coming to the liquidity part again. So what are the four pillars that you have to keep in mind with respect to liquidity? So the four pillars are budget, audience, placements, and creative. These are the four dimensions that you have to keep in mind, and you have to set as few restrictions as possible across these four levels. Okay. For example, for budget, try to increasing liquidity with respect to budget is where you can set your campaign, your budget at the campaign level and not at the ad level. That's one example. For audience liquidity, it can how you can increase your audience liquidity. You can increase by targeting the broadest possible audience. I'll discuss each of these pillar in detail in coming slide. And with respect to the placement is, let's say there are multiple surfaces that are available to you to show your ad. If you pick and choose, you are basically restricting your campaign. So you have to allow the system to choose what is best placements for you. So that's how you can increase placement liquidity. And last is the creative liquidity. Now, creative liquidity can be increased by allowing the system to test and choose which performing ads creatives are best for your particular audience. Okay, so these are the four dimensions that you have to keep in mind, where you have to set as per restrictions so that you can make your campaign flexible, ultimately making your campaign more liquid. Okay, so let's take one by one and let's try to understand how you can set your campaign, how you can increase your campaign liquidity with respect to budget. Now, the answer to that question is very simple. The answer is you have to use CBO, which is campaign budget optimization. Now, if let me ask you guys, have you ever heard about the concept of CBO? Yes, no. Can you type in your chat? Have you ever heard about the word CBO? Okay, okay, okay. A lot of responses. Yes, no. Okay, super. So I'm getting mixed responses. Couple of you are thinking yes, couple of guys are saying no. No worries. Okay, all those who are saying yes, fantastic. Let me brush up uh, the concept for you. And all those who are saying no, don't worry. I'm just going to explain that to all of you. Okay. Now, what is CBO? CBO is basically stands for campaign budget optimization. And CBO is basically a budget setting that you do at the campaign level instead of the ad set level. Okay. Now, what CBO does it basically enables you to set a single budget across an entire campaign, so that automatically, intelligently, and in real time. And why it does that? Because so that you can use this money or the budget efficiently on the ad set that is working for you. I'll explain you with example in detail. Okay, so that's the CBO is. Now let me explain what CBO look like. Okay, uh, so let's say that you have two ad set. Okay, ad set one and ad set two, and each ad set has their own budget. In ad set one, let's say opportunities are basically appearing, and funds are getting used. Okay, but towards those opportunities. As you can see that there are still plenty of opportunities in ad set one, but the budget we are ran out of the budget. correct? So these opportunities are missed opportunities because we don't have money for that ad set, because the money that we allocated for this ad set has been consumed to for these opportunities, but there are other opportunities which we missed out. Meanwhile, in ad set 2, funds are distributed to fewer opportunities, okay, and with plenty of budgets are remaining, okay. So if we left this alone, what happens to the budget? It basically gets unused, correct? Now to avoid such situations, or avoid having the unused budget, you would use to do it manually, adjust them manually, okay. But things move very quickly, and those same opportunities in ad set 1 might no longer be available for you. And who to say that more opportunities haven't appeared in ad set 2? Now you have missed opportunities in ad set 2 as well, correct? So manually adjusting ad set budgets is basically time consuming and inefficient. Meanwhile, the Facebook platform is analyzing these opportunities where they are, and that 2,000 times a day. So that's where manual adjusting the ad set budget can lead to missed opportunities or unused funds. Now let's look at the same scenario with CBO enabled. Okay. Now in this case, what we have done is we have our budget set at the campaign level instead of the ad set level. Okay. Now with CBO, our funds are distributed across ad set to get the most valuable outcome. In this case, fund will be distributed to the lower cost impression in ad set 1 first, then it will be distributed to the moderately priced impression in ad set 2. This way, we get more impression at the lower CPA. Now, okay, so this is how it will be doing it. Now, just for the illustration purpose, uh, just to show you that how your CPA will be reduced if you use CBO. Okay, say that you have a budget of $15, okay, for each ad set, and in these $15, let's say you got 10 outcomes, 4 in ad set 1, and uh, uh, let's say and 6 in ad set 2, okay. Now which basically makes that your average cost per outcomes to at $3. Now if I set it the same thing at the CBO level, okay. Now what happens at this with campaign budget optimization enable, you are basically optimizing your budget for cost and efficiency, so you're more likely to see more outcomes and a lower cost per outcome. Here we have got total outcome of 15. So instead of our CPA to 3, we are getting a cost per acquisition or cost per action to 2. So you see, with CBO enabled, our outcomes not only get increased, but our cost also goes down. So sorry. So this is what CBO can do to your campaigns. It can help you to increase flexibility, which can ultimately improve your liquidity, which can ultimately help you to drive more results and drive lesser cost. Okay, so that's what campaign budget optimization can do to you. Okay, great. Any questions so far, guys, before I move to the next step? Okay, let me see. There are a couple of things. Okay, just a second. Okay, there's a question that comes. What happens if opportunities change after CBO has optimized for a particular ad set and a different one gets bigger? Okay, so see what happens over here is, uh, depending on when you set your CBO, you're basically allowing the system to choose how to set how to consume the budget. Now, if let's say there are plenty of opportunities in ad set 1 and there are no opportunities in ad set 2, the system will try to use those opportunities and will try to consume them. Okay, now let's say after a couple of days or after a couple of opportunities, there are few opportunities, low cost opportunities are started to coming in ad set 2 as well. Okay, so in that case what happens is system will try to consume them. So first, system will try to consume or try to use those opportunities which are of lower cost, and then it will try to see that whether in the next ad set or in another ad set, whether the system can go to the a little bit higher cost per impression opportunities or not. So depending on the real time uh, calculation, system will try to bring the deliver your ad to those outcomes where system feels that you can basically your ad can be shown and results can be achieved. Okay, so this is far much better than adjusting the ads or the budget manually among the ad set. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay, after a week it's optimized for ad set A, and then 2 weeks later ad set B is better. So if, let's say, if after 2 weeks later if ad set B is better, then what happens is it doesn't optimize the ad set. In CBO your ad sets are not optimized that okay, now I will only start spending money in ad set A. No, it doesn't happen like that way. So if you set your budget at the campaign level, as and when the opportunity comes in each ad set, system try to use them depending on what is the cost you have set or what is the bid you have set. Okay, so it doesn't matter it doesn't matter that whether campaign is optimized for ad set A or ad set B. If opportunities are coming, if your budget allows, then those opportunities will be consumed irrespective of the ad set. So that's how it works. Okay. Okay, so learning doesn't stay definite after it exits the learning phase. So see, learning phase is different. Learning phase basically helps you to optimize your campaign for the action that you want your user to take. CBO is different. CBO is you're setting the campaign budget. You're setting the budget at the campaign level. Learning phase is you're during when as and when system is placing your ad to different users, and if people are performing that particular action that you want them to take, that is what system is learning that okay, next who are the set of customers who can perform these actions. Budget is a fuel for your campaigns. Now if you set a fuel at the campaign level, irrespective of your ad set, your opportunities will be you will be efficiently choosing the opportunities. Now optimization happen for the event that you want your system to that you want your user to take on your action on your campaigns. Okay, so both are different things. Learning is ad level, yes, that's what. So what happens, the system try to understand at the ad set level, at the ad level, that okay, this campaign this ad is people who are interacting to these ads, out of them let's say x numbers are moving ahead and performing the action. uh, Can you guys hear me? Just raise your hand if you guys can hear me. Okay, 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 okay. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Everything is working fine. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry. I don't know. Suddenly, if system, there was some pop up came, and I just lost the connection. Okay. I'm so sorry for this inconvenience. Can you guys hear me? Okay, okay, okay. I am so sorry, guys. I don't know what's happening. Okay, some server issue that is happening. So my Wi-Fi is working fine. Everything is looking good, but somehow there is some server connection issue. I'm so sorry. I think this has been resolved. So I think we can continue from where we halted. Just raise your hand if you guys can see my screen and if you can hear me. I just want to double check. Okay, 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 fantastic. Thank you guys. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. And again, apologies for the inconvenience. Okay, great. Let's start. So the next thing that is there in Archity is how you can increase your campaign liquidity with respect to audience. So over here, the options that you have is, what you can do is audience. You can basically set your audience in such a way that you are targeting the broadest possible audience. Okay. So options that you have is custom audience, lookalike audience, broad targeting, and detailed targeting expansion. Okay. Let me show you where you can do that. So basically, first is the custom audience. So when you go and create a new audience, you can basically create a custom audience. Okay. Now, custom audience basically allow you to connect with people on Facebook based on data that they own. Okay, so that which means you guys own. Okay, and that too in a secure and a safe way. So if you have a list of customers, you can basically upload these lists and you can use them and you can basically target them. Okay, so let's say I have a list of 1,000 customers, I would upload them and that can be my custom audience. Now, how can I increase my liquidity with respect to this? So what I can do is just instead of just reaching to these 1,000 audience, what I can do, I can create a lookalike audience on this custom audience, okay, and allow system to find more audience similar to this list of 1,000 people. That's how I can make my campaign more flexible, ultimately making my campaign more liquid. Okay, that's one. Second is broad targeting. Now, broad targeting is basically, allows you, is when, when you set location, age, or gender, but you don't provide any other audience parameter. You just said, okay, target everyone in Germany, age group of 80 to 65, and I don't care about gender, target everyone. That's the broad targeting. Okay. Now, with broad targeting, what we always recommend is go with the detailed targeting expansion, because let's say what you are setting up over here in the broad targeting, okay, let's say system is not able to find more audience for you, okay, so what you can do is, if you're going with the detailed targeting options over here, you're basically telling system to go beyond your set targeting. Okay, so if you check the detailed targeting option checkbox, okay, system will basically go beyond and find more users for you who can perform the desired actions on your campaigns. Now that's broad targeting can, detailed targeting and broad targeting can do, and how you can increase your campaign liquidity over here. Okay, so these are the options that you have. Okay, so with budget, you can set your campaign budget at the you can set your budget at the campaign level, and you can increase your liquidity. With audience, what you can do is, you can go with, when you're going with your custom audience, go create a lookalike audience as well. That's how you can increase your liquidity. When you're going and creating your broad audience, please select detailed targeting expansion so that you make your campaign more liquid. Okay, so these are the options with respect to the audience part. Now, let's move ahead, and the third part is the placement. Okay, now with respect to the placements, we have two options. One is automatic placement, and other is the, let's say, your manual placement. Now, what we normally recommend is, we always recommend you to go with the automatic placement, because that's when the system understands and decide which placements your campaigns can get more results. Okay, so if you allow your campaign to run on multiple placements, you go with the automatic placement, because let's say if you feel that you don't want to place your ads on, let's say, feeds, okay, but there are a lot of opportunities that are coming for your ads on feeds, you might miss out, because you have not allowed the system to show your ads on feed. But let's say if you allow the system and you go with the automatic placement, what happens is, wherever the opportunity comes, and that to low cost opportunities, system will place your ad on those placements and will try to drive results for you. Okay, so that's how you can increase your campaign liquidity with respect to placement, by going with the automatic placements. And that too, we also recommend that this is the best practice to follow. But let's say if you are not sure that your audience is there on, let's say, feed, okay, so, or let's say on a particular platform, okay, so what you can do is, you can go with the manual placement. You can go and set up the manual placement. But when you're setting up the manual placement, just keep in mind that please go and select minimum 4 manual placements option. Okay. Now, I just wanted to give you guys a little understanding over here with respect to the placement and platform. At Facebook, we have 4 platforms where your ads can run. One is Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and Audience Network. These are 4 platforms. Under each platforms, we have multiple placements. So, for example, under Instagram is basically a platform, and within Instagram, you have stories as a placement, you have feeds as a placement, and you have explore as a placement. So every platform offers you multiple placements. So when you're selecting placement, please select at least 4 placements options, that which will make your campaign, which will give campaign a little liquidity, instead of just restricting yourself to a couple of them. Okay, so this is couple of options that you can keep in mind with respect to placement. Okay, when you're enabling placements, automatic placements, you you can elect to run ads across entire, basically, Facebook family of apps and technologies, so that your ad content is delivered where it's most likely to achieve campaign results, that too at a lowest possible cost, okay, and at any given point of time. Now this gives you more opportunities to reach more people and helps you maximize your results. That's what automatic placements can do. Now, when you're using automatic placements, there are a couple of benefits that you get. One is, your cost outcome is lower. It's a simple campaign management, so you don't have to work on a lot of things. And third, your campaign reach is expanded because there are multiple placements that you've allowed system to reach, so that and now you are reaching more people and reaching more audiences, which is basically helping you to reach multiple audiences. But if you remember, I told you at the start that your role is as a guide to the machine learning is very important. So that is what I want you to focus over here. Now, without automatic placement, you may limit your campaign to only a handful of placements, or even less optimal, or one placement, which basically means that you're missing out on opportunities to achieve a lower cost per outcome. Okay. But let's say when automatic placements are turned on, the system automatically searches for the lowest cost placements at any given moment, where an ad is most likely to achieve and help you to achieve the desired outcomes. Okay, so that's what automatic placement can basically help you to achieve the desired results, and that too at a lower cost per outcome. Now, automatic placement will always pick the cheapest opportunities for the achieving a desired objective. Okay, now this is where your input comes in picture. Now the system needs the input from you to understand what creates value for your business or client. Okay, and it's critical to align your advertising objective with your business goal. Now here are two graphs over here which represent one single day campaigns. Okay, one campaign is basically optimized for traffic, and other one is optimized for conversion. So this is optimized for traffic, this is optimized for conversion. Okay, so for example, if let's say if you want sales, the conversion objective would be more appropriate than the traffic objective. That's everyone is aware about over here. Okay, now the reason is because the best opportunities for click may not be same for the best opportunity for conversion. So if you optimize on click, you may get the cheapest cost per click using automatic placement, but this may not result in highest number of post-click conversions. And this is where your input is critical to get the results that's best for your business or client. And that's where your input as the optimization event that you want from this particular campaign is very critical. And that's how, as I said at the start, that you have to be the guide for the system so that you can use the machine learning, and machine learning can drive results for you. Okay, so that's very, very important. Now, one more thing that comes with the automatic placement is that you might be wondering that Ashwini, that with automatic placement we have to create, we have so many creatives, we already have so many creatives, and in fact we have creative for each placement, so how do we do that? I have answer to that question as well. But let's say you say that I don't have multiple creatives. There are so many placements that are available. I have only one creative, Ashwini. How do I choose creative for so many placements that Facebook offers? Simple. If you have one creative, that will work for all the placements. So Facebook will automatically convert your creative to best fit each placement, saving you the time and money it would take to develop multiple creatives. So if you have one creative, it can basically help you to address fit in all the possible placements, and it can help you to save your time and money as well. Okay, so that problem is solved over here. But the first question that I ask you, that let's say if your client has already developed multiple creatives, in that case, what you want, how you can address that? Simple. You can use this option, or this you can use this tool called custom asset customization. Okay, asset customization tool. When you go and use this when you use this, you can basically select each placement, and you can customize the tool, customize the creative for that particular placement. Okay, so if you have multiple creatives for each placement, you can use asset customization tool. If you don't have multiple creatives for all the placement, you can just go with the creative that you have, and system will automatically best fit the creative for the placement and will save you time and money. So in both the scenarios, system will try to help you out. Okay, got it? Okay, let me, before I move ahead, let me see if I have some questions over here. Okay, let me see a lot of, just a second. Okay, we lost your audio. Sorry guys, sorry. I'm just going through it. Okay. 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 Fantastic. I have a couple of questions that I would like to take it. Okay, I have a couple of questions which I will address them once I complete the topic. I hope that's okay with you guys. Okay, because we have a couple of topics to go, and then at the Q&A session, I'll address these questions which I have from some of you. Okay, that sounds good. Okay, okay. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, now you know uh, the next thing is, as I said, that let's say your client is not ready to go with the automatic placement. In that case, I have already said you that you can manually select your placements. Okay, and when you're selecting manual placement, you can go and select at least 4 placements, so that you are allowing system a little bit flexibility and a little bit liquidity over there. Okay, so when you're going with the manual placements, please make sure that you select at least 4 placements, so that you are making your campaign enough flexible. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Let's move to the fourth dimension, which is basically the creative dimension. So we now know how to make our campaign liquid with respect to budget, with respect to audience, with respect to placement. Last is how we can make our campaign more flexible with respect to creative. Now, you can increase your creative liquidity by providing multiple creative components and allowing the ad option to determine the most efficient combination. You can use, you can then use creative liquidity product in tandem with placement liquidity to determine which creative works best on each platform, and that to at scale. Okay, so the tools that you can use over here is dynamic creative and dynamic language optimization. Let's quickly look into this. What are these? Dynamic creative basically accept the basic component of a Facebook ad, which is basically image, video, title, description, etc., and automatically generates optimized ad combination based on these components. Okay. Now, these ads are then served across placements to compare the performance of each creative element, and then with a particular given audience, and then you can see, and then system will try to see which placement and which creative, which audience is driving best results for you, and then it will try to optimize your campaign for these 3 elements. Okay, so that's what dynamic creative can do to you. The next tool is dynamic language optimization. Now, dynamic language optimization basically automatically translate the copy of your ad into multiple languages. Okay, so if you see over here, we have the headings over here as don't miss out on this opportunity, and we have a couple of write-up over here as well. So when you use dynamic language optimization, it basically translate the text into the language that you have selected. Okay, uh, just one suggestion over here: when you're using dynamic language optimization, please make sure that you are not using too much vulnerability, which means that if you're using complex words, those will be tough to translate and your message might get lost in translation. So try to use simple language, simple English when you are trying to translate them in the languages that you are using it. Okay, all you have to do is go to the dynamic language optimization, add language option, select the languages that you want to translate your ad copy into it, and then write the ad copy, and then you can view over there what is how the translation look like. Okay, so these are the 2 options that are available to you with respect to creative liquidity. Okay, so these are the 4 elements that I wanted to discuss with you with respect to liquidity. Budget, so set your budget at the campaign level. Placement, make sure that you select automatic placement. If you are not willing to go with automatic placement, if you are using manual placement, please make sure that you choose at least 4 manual placement. Third, audience. If you are going and creating an audience, if you are going with your custom list, make sure that you create a lookalike audience for the custom list that you've created, so that you have more audience to reach. Or if you're going with the broad targeting, select the detailed targeting expansion option, so that you have more audience to reach, so that you get more result. And fourth, with the creative, you can use these two tools, which is dynamic language optimization and dynamic creative, which can help you to make your creative and your ad copy more lucrative and reach the right audience. So these are the four options that I wanted to discuss with you. Okay, with respect to the liquidity. Okay, now let me quickly see. Okay, I have a couple of questions. I will take these questions once I complete the topic. Okay, so in the Q&A session, I'll address all your questions. You keep adding your questions over here. Don't worry, I'll address all of your questions. But it's just that we have lost a lot of time in this audio issue. So I just want to first cover up the topic, and then in the Q&A session, I will pick up these questions. Okay, thank you. Now, coming to the next part is the data privacy measures. Okay, now Facebook take data very seriously, and all the Facebook products and technologies are built on the principle of choice, transparency, and control. And we strive to give advertisers the ability to control and protect the data they share with us. We don't allow any advertisers or third party to access information or audiences provided to us by other advertisers unless we have explicit permission to do so. Okay, and the data that you provide will only be used to improve and inform your campaign. Likewise, Facebook won't use your customer list to inform any other part of our ad system, like targeting segments or optimization model. We don't use information gathered through the Pixel or SDK to inform the interest segment we assign to people. The signal collected from those tools are only used in aggregated to inform our ad delivery system for objectives like conversion optimization. Okay, so just wanted to make sure that you are aware about this. So here's is how we use the information you share with us. Okay, so for Facebook Pixel, which captures pixel events from a website, we use this information to help the advertisers better target, optimize, and measure their ad. We also use this information in aggregate to inform our ads delivery system for objectives like conversion optimization. Okay, however, we currently do not use this to inform any targetable interest segment we assign to people. Okay, so let's say if a person has visited travel site that use our business tool, we use this information in aggregate to inform our ad delivery system for optimization and may show them ads for hotel and rental cars. Okay, with that said, we do not currently use this information to inform the interest segment we assign to people. Similarly, for the SDK, which is used for our mobile SDK app, we use this information to help that advertisers better target, optimize, and measure their ads. We also use this information in aggregate to inform our ads based system for objective like conversion optimization. Okay, for offline conversions, if is used again used to help advertisers measure and better and target their ads, and these are basically you can you we use these information uh, to inform our ad system for objectives like store sales conversions. Okay, and last is the custom audience. So with first party data you shared through custom audience, we use this information to help you create custom audience and lookalike audience so that you reach people who you already know or people who are similar to them. Okay, however, we do not use this information to inform our ad delivery system nor any targetable interest segment we assign to people. If you wish to know or learn more about these privacy and data use that we use, you can go to www.facebook.com/business/privacy and data, and you can learn more over there. Now talking, this is the last topic of this session, which is brand safety measures. Okay, now as I told you that in the placement scenario that you should go and use automatic placement. Okay, now when you're going with the automatic placement, I told you that there are multiple platforms that are available where your ads can be go, like Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and Audience Network. Now when for Facebook, Insta, and Messenger, no issues, but let's say for Audience Network where your ads are placed on other people's website or apps which are very popular and which have huge traffic. Now, let's say your client is not very comfortable in placing their ads on some of the website. Okay, so and they don't trust, let's have a let's the AI part, which is very understandable. So how do you can make sure that the brand has safety measures in place? Okay, so very simple. uh, Brand safety, risks are unique to each advertisers, and we think about them in terms of 3S: safety, sensitivity, and suitability. Now, on one hand, we have the extreme content like graphic nudity, hate speech, and terrorism that no advertiser want to speak or appear alongside. Now, this kind of content isn't allowed to appear anywhere on the Facebook, as outlined in our community standard and advertising policies. Now, this is the basic brand safety. Okay, the next level is the spectrum in in the sensitive content. Now, these contents includes things like debatable social issues and news reportings about tragedy or conflict, and it is allowed on our platform, correct? While most advertisers don't want their ads to appear alongside these kind of content, but some might want. Okay, so Facebook provide tools for advertisers to decide whether or not this content is suitable for their ads on a brand by brand basis. Okay, this is sensitivity. Third is suitability. uh, Suitability is, on the other hand, have content that isn't sensitive and poses no risk for a majority of the advertisers, but is unsuitable for specific brands for specific reasons. For example, a soft drink company may not want its ads to appear next to article about, let's say, child obesity. Okay, so this is a question about suitability. So you can, as I said, brand by brand, the suitability varies. Okay, so as we talked about the brand safety control, there are two categories. One is ad independent from publishers content and ad within publisher content. Okay, ads that are independent from publisher content appear next to organic content, which is adjacent content is determined by a person who a person follows and what they are interested in. Now, these placements might include Facebook news feeds and Instagram feeds, Instagram Explore, Facebook search results, stories, marketplace, and platforms where we have ads. But let's say ad within publisher content, which includes in-stream videos on Facebook, okay, or instant articles and audience network, provide more opportunity to reach your audience with unique and immersive experiences. Now, here's the here are the ways that Facebook ensures that safety on the placements that are independent from publisher content. The best way to contribute to brand safety is to prevent harmful content even from even appearing on our app and technologies in the first place. So we have a team of 35,000 who are focused on safety and security, and they are reviewing the content in 50 languages 24/7. Okay. Now, these are the basically brand safety for ads within the publisher content. Okay, so there are policies enforced for policy enforcement, and there are some advertiser control for the for with respect to the publisher content as well over here. Okay, so please have a look over here, that these are the couple of things that you can look into it. So what you can do is, with respect to the advertiser control, there are a couple of things that you have. One, let's say you have inventory list. Okay, so let's say if you're going with the if you're going with the automatic placement, these are only available in the automatic placement. So what you can do is, you can look into the delivery report. Okay, and you can see all the placements where your all the publishers where your ads are getting placed. You can review them, and then you can upload the list of the places where you don't want your ad to go, which you can upload in the block list. Okay, so you can go to the inventory filter, you can look into the publisher list, you can look into publisher delivery report, and if there are specific URLs where you don't want your ad to be appear on, you can put them on the block list, and they will your ads will never go on those platforms. Okay, so in this way you can basically manage your brand safety, and you can measure your brand safety. Okay, now coming to the conclusion part, what we have, we couple of key takeaways that we have to take from this session is, we have to increase the campaign flexibility by using Facebook liquidity tool. So we talked about them for budget, you can use CBO tool for placements. You can use custom audience and lookalike audience together, or you can use broad targeting and detailed targeting expansion together. Okay. For creative, you have dynamic language optimization and dynamic creative options that you can use. And for placement, you have automatic placements that you can use, where you have multiple tools, which I talked about, for let's like asset customization tool if you have multiple creative or multiple placements. So that is something. Okay. Remember, you have to make your campaign flexible so that your campaign become more liquid. Okay, that's the take you have to take it from this session. Second thing, improve result by putting fewer restrictions on targeting, ad placements, and campaign level budget, which is what makes your campaign less flexible. Okay. And third, maximize the value of machine learning by setting up the right data source. So if you have a website, please set up Pixel. If you have an app, please set up SDK. And if you are trying to drive traffic to your stores, please use offline conversions so that you can understand whether Facebook campaigns are actually driving traffic to your stores or not, and whether they are actually not even driving traffic but actually bringing business to them or not. Okay. So these are a couple of things that you can take away from this session. Now we have come to an end, so let me just go through the questions that I have. Okay, I'll just go to them and I'll try to address as many as I can. Okay, given the time. uh, okay, let me just Okay, I'm just going through the questions, so give me a couple of seconds, guys, over here. Okay. Can we see exactly which customers were reached from our import list? Okay, you won't. Okay, so fantastic. So when you upload a customer list, what happens is your entire list will, so your list will have customer name, customer email address, customer phone number, and so many information. Correct? So when you upload your list, what happens is before the information pass on from your system to our server, at your browser level only the entire list is hashed. Okay, all the information in the list is converted into hash values, because at Facebook level all the Facebook profiles and all the information about those profiles are already converted into hash values. Okay, so then Facebook try to match the files that you have imported, okay, and the value that Facebook already have about those users. Let's say I'm not on Facebook, okay, but I'm there on your list. So when you upload it, I won't be there on Facebook, so system will say this is not matched. So out of your list, all the people you upload, there will be a matched numbers that these many people have been matched, but you won't be able to individually get, because these values are hashed. So you won't be able to get the individual information detail, that these are the users information that you can see in the custom list. So in the custom list, you can only see the number of people who are there in that custom list. So you won't be able to see each which customer were reached from your imported list, but you can see the number of people because of the hash value. Okay, let me see if we have. Okay, it says size not available. When do we know that the customer has reached? Okay, so size not available, can you specify, are you talking about the list size? Okay, okay, okay. Okay, how do we know how many people are found in our customer list? Okay, fantastic. So when you go and you can check is, when you upload your customer list, you will see in the custom audience that how many people are there in that particular list. Okay, when you run the campaign, you will see that how many people were reached in the data. Okay, so in the report you can see how many people were reached, so you can understand from that data point that how many people were reached, and then you can also see how many people converted. So that is where that information you can get it over there. Okay. uh, okay. Okay, there's one question that I think this is with respect to the dynamic language optimization. It says that means the video would have to be for different language too. Okay, and it doesn't translate video. Yeah. So with dynamic language optimization, what happens is your the text that you are writing, okay, the headline, the descriptions that you're writing, the CTA button, okay, those get translated into the language that you choose, not the video. Video has a creative, okay. Let's say you have an image and there's a one word in the, or there's one text in that image that won't get translated. If you want to translate that, you have to create an image or you have to create a video with that language, okay. With dynamic language optimization, you can only translate the text that is there on the ad as an ad copy, okay, not the text which is there in the creative, okay. Okay. uh, okay, so okay, one more recommendation that I can give you is with respect to the customer size. So when you upload the customer list, make sure that the customer list has minimum 1,000 members, okay. That's the minimum requirement. However, no, that's the recommended requirement. Sorry, the minimum requirement is 100. So if you have a list of 100 people, you can upload the list. But what we recommend is you should have at least 1,000 people in the list, so that so that system is able to reach them. Okay, so that's something that can answer your question over here. Okay, I don't see any other question that is there. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, I think I've answered most of the question that is asked over here. Okay, let me know if you guys have any other questions. Okay, now with that we have come to the end of this session. Thank you so much for your time and for your patience today.